Hey everybody, Gunnison on the cover. Today is Saturday, October 27th, 2018, yes. And it's a very rainy day here in New Jersey, remnants of some hurricane that came up from Mexico. So this one is about my favorite police department, Englishtown, New Jersey. And they have once again posted some Copaganda, and it's really, they're taking a little dig at me. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink. I tell you, I really love this police department. This chief over here, he's a gift that just keeps on giving. So let me just show you the posting. It is on my Facebook if you haven't already seen it. There it is. And it reads as follows. Follow up to our earlier post. This is dated October 24th. Today, the department received a thank you card from the individual that was assisted by Patrolman Ryan Caradillo and Officer James Sakers. It was not until after reading the thank you card that it was learned that the officers actually paid for the gas out of their own pockets and refused to accept any payment. Aww. Unfortunately, as noted in the card, posts on social media often paint police officers in a negative light. Some refer to positive police posts as Copaganda, but we believe that posting the positive interactions with the police is an important reminder to the public that the officers of the Englishtown Police Department are partners in the community they serve and believe in proactive policing that provides a safe environment for residents, business owners, visitors, and those who traverse the borough of Englishtown. Well, let me respond to this. If you post anything that exposes the police for negative things that they do, which is an endless source of that, you are labeled a hater, cop hater, a negative person against police, you don't like police, blah, 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 all these things that, and that we paint officers in a negative light. Well, let me explain to you something. This again goes back to the two sets of rules. Have you noticed on some of the police departments, I know I see it because I subscribe to many of them on Facebook, where they will post the monthly blog of all the people they arrested and their names and what town they came from. Now, mind you, none of these people have been convicted of anything, but they're going to throw it out there. And if I recall correctly, that's painting them in a negative light. You're accusing them of something that they haven't been convicted of, and you're throwing that dirt out there. But that's okay that the police paint us in a negative light. But if you go and you expose them for the two-faced people that some of them are, oh, they don't like that. Now, this little Copaganda story here had to do with this lady who ran out of gas, and these two little deckhands of Mr. Cook come showing up and helped her out. And you know what? In all fairness, that's great that they do that. I'll give them a thumbs up for helping out the community like that. I would like to see more officers do that, give of themselves. But what Mr. Cook doesn't tell you, he doesn't tell you the story about, I had to tell you, okay? Some lady had to tell me so I could tell you about how she got stopped by a cop there in Englishtown, some snot-nose, probably a class 2, because her registration expired. Now, registration expired in itself. It's not a reason to impound a car, though they can impound a car. But it's not a reason to impound a car. See, when it comes to motor vehicle stuff, police officer has discretion. So instead of saying to the lady, well, how far do you live here? Oh, you live 2 miles down the road. Look, take the car home, get it taken care of, and then put it back on the road. No, the cop did not do that. What he did was he issued her several tickets, one of them because she was dangling an air freshener off the mirror, which to me, that's even worse than impounding the car. That shows that the cop was a real jerk. So they impounded this lady's car and left her and her little kid, her little daughter, standing on the side of the road by police headquarters, I believe it was, in a snowstorm that was approaching the area. The snow was coming down. But they don't tell you stories about that, because that's the truth. And whenever you put the truth out there about the police, it always seems to paint them in a negative light. Why is that? Now, we all know, and it's pretty much confirmed by many people, those that aren't under the control or have to worry about what old Buccaneer Pete's going to do to them, agree that Englishtown Police is a pirate ship. And it's run by this unqualified chief of police, acting chief of police. He's not really a chief, he's just acting like one. And he's doing a poor job. We all know that this town is a revenue-generated police department. They have to generate this money because the town doesn't have enough money to support this crooked police department. I'm not saying all these cops are crooked, but there's several out there that are not good. And I've heard that from more than one source. They have to generate money. And they do this with tickets. Now, I understand, Mr. Cook, maybe you can confirm this, Mr. Cook, since we all want to talk about the truth and what our officers really do. Isn't it true, Mr. Cook, that you figured out how many tickets each officer has to produce each month? Is that true, Mr. Cook? Because that's what I hear. I hear each one of your officers have to generate certain tickets each month to generate that money to pay for the police department. Because we know, Mr. Cook, why don't you admit it, Mr. Cook, the town cannot afford you, and that's why you're not getting a raise. Because they can't afford you. It's a joke. So, let's talk about the other thing about Englishtown. It's not just me, but several people called it, referred to the Englishtown loop. Maybe Mr. Cook, you could elaborate that on your Facebook page, what the Englishtown loop is. Now, I understand that people go out of their way, go around Englishtown, so they don't have to go through your wonderful town where your pirates are sitting in their cars. Now, I know also, Mr. Cook, you never addressed Mr. D. Nicola, because I see you have another post up there about what a great guy he is. Now, we caught him not wearing his seatbelt, Mr. Cook. Isn't that correct, Mr. Cook? It's on the video. We caught him. I know you didn't talk about that, Mr. Cook. Was I painting Mr. D. Nicola in a bad light, a negative light, or was I just exposing the truth? And maybe the truth is a negative light. But he wasn't wearing his seatbelt. Why don't you talk about that, Mr. Cook? No, you're not going to talk about that. Why don't you talk about all the tickets, seatbelt tickets that Mr. Diacola gave, while he himself was riding around with no seatbelt? Maybe talk about that other officer I caught not wearing his seatbelt. You're not going to talk about that. You see, Mr. Cook, you're full of crap. The crap is up there. You know, you're so full of crap, Mr. Cook, your boobs are sticking out. You got man boobs now. I noticed that one of your pictures. You got man boobs. Maybe you need to start going to the gym. But you're full of it, Mr. Cook, okay? So don't talk this crap about painting you in a negative light. I paint the truth. And if the truth makes you look in a negative light, then own up to it. Put your man pants on. Say, you know what? We're doing things here is not good public relations. And keeping, let me ask you, we serve and believe in proactive policing. You mean revenue policing, Mr. Cook, because there's nothing going on in your town. Just say it, Mr. Cook. There's no crime in your town. I'd like to see what your crime statistics are. Provides a safe environment for residents, business owners, visitors, and those who transverse the borough of Englishtown. Well, those that transverse the borough of Englishtown better make sure everything on their car is in order, or else one of your pirates is going to pull them over and issue them a ticket. Isn't that right, Mr. Cook? I wish I could read some of what this lady wrote in here, but she's just, you know, she's happy these police helped her out, and that's fine. I got no problem with the police helping people out, but don't take this one stupid little thing you got, Mr. Cook, and try to portray your whole police department as being that. because it's not the truth, Mr. Cook, and you know it's not the truth. You know people know the truth about you. You know people sucking up to you are the ones that you hold you dangle their what's the word? Dangling their financials over their heads, or you know you've got something on them, so they have to suck up to you. Sorry, Mr. Cook, I don't suck up to you, and I don't suck up to any of your cops in your department. Now, I understand some of your police there are very nice, but I don't suck up to anybody. And I report the truth about you, Mr. Cook. And I'll finish it up with this. This is all fine, Danny, but you know what, Mr. Cook? It doesn't make up for all the bad things that you are telling your officers to do to residents and those coming through your town. You're a pirate. You steal from motorists. Also I heard recently, Mr. Cook, I heard you go out drinking, have beers with the mayor. The next door, you go out and have beers together. No wonder everything's crooked the way it is over there. It's got questions attached to it. This whole town of Englishtown sucks, people. And I would tell the residents of Englishtown, it's time you merge with Manalapan. I said you should get Manalapan police in there. That'd be the start. Really, the best thing to do is merge with Manalapan, so you can enjoy the benefits of a real government. Not some government that's run by a few cronies over there, looking out for themselves. Like that Mr. Cook, the most unqualified police chief of the state of New Jersey. Hey, Mr. Cook, tell me how you're qualified to be a chief of police. You patrolled Brookdale College. I often wonder what you did to get that job, huh? Did you get any on your face? Huh? Or did you take all of it? Or you were just the only loser that would take the job? But please, Mr. Cook, spare me this, all right? Spare me this. This doesn't represent what your department is. It represents something two of your officers did on a given day. Englishtown Undercover. Like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook. You can always get me at gunnistonundercover@gmail.com. And if you're a resident of Englishtown or you're a police officer of Englishtown, I still extend my offer to you. If you don't like what that crooked cook is doing, drop me a line. Because nothing would please me more than see that crooked guy out of there and let him go sit back in a police car and do some real work instead of sitting there on his couch waiting for a call to come over the radio while he's sitting there drinking his Pepsi. Please. Sitting there talking to probably his wife, sitting there, the councilwoman, figuring how they can make rules that benefit them. Till next time, people.